And I saw somebody on Twitter that said, why can't we just quit being so negative and support wrestling in general? Does anybody ever come out and say, why can't we support these bad movies? Or do they just say, that movie stunk? Why do you have to support all of something? That's like supporting pizza with toppings and no toppings. That's like supporting.
Come on.
But it's in all honesty. Is there anything else where we just have to support all of this, good, bad, or indifferent? Is there any other endeavor or line of work or sport or entertainment where people say that? Can you think of one?
No. I mean, if you like a band and all of a sudden some other band shows up and they suck, you'll say they suck. You don't go, oh, yeah, I'm going to listen to them. It's music.
You support the Rolling Stones. You don't support all bands. You don't support all teams. You support your team. Sometimes your team may suck, but at least it's the one in your hometown. That's maybe a reason to support sucky shit. But no, for the most part, you support good shit and you say bad shit is bad. So that's what we're doing here. And I'm not even knocking the talent again on Raw. I want to say that again. And there is some talent on Raw that needs to be knocked, and we will probably knock them, but it's not the talent's fault. This is a classic example of what has happened when professional wrestling has been taken completely out of the hands of wrestling people and put into the hands of writers and or producers and or people with non-wrestling backgrounds. And first of all, Vince McMahon may have been in the wrestling business for a long time, but he's never been and would never have called himself a wrestling person. He never wanted wrestling to look like wrestling. But otherwise, and I know people are going to say, what, they have producers? Some of the producers are ex-wrestlers, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, here, this is when I was a producer, they would say, okay, here's what's supposed to happen in this segment, produce it. Well, how is that producing anything? You could produce it, but it's not coming up with it. It's like painting by numbers. If you do a real good job, boy, you're a really good painter by numbers, but it's still somebody else's picture. So the producers, they've got it backwards, if anything. The wrestlers, whoever has seniority amongst them, the ex-wrestlers who are in the production crew ought to be the writers, and then they ought to let the TV people run around and show the guys where to fucking face the camera or whatever. I don't fucking know. But this is the blandest, most lifeless, contrived, scripted, passionless fucking bit of effluvia that I've ever seen on a television program. And Raw didn't used to be this way. They didn't used to produce shows this way. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Anyway, we started out with Randy Orton again, who's a world-class talent. And it seemed like he was bored as fuck about fucking saying these words that somebody else had told him to say, because now I guess he's supposed to be a psychopath and he snaps and then he's sorry and dramaticness. They're telling us this is his problem, therefore we know it's phony. If they insinuate things or you're allowed to pick up things on your own, you figure out that it might be real. But if they tell you something, it's fucking phony. Because the announcers are as sincere as a get-well card from an Undertaker. And that is an old Jerry Lawler line, and I'm sorry, King. But I think it wasn't that Lawler was insincere. He was just asleep through this whole fucking thing. Because why would he be excited about anything? Anyway, Randy Orton entered again as he did last week in slow motion. I like their fancy entrance drop thing that helps block all those empty seats in that big building. They did about a 2-minute long show billboard by the announcers as Orton took forever to get to the ring. And then he slowly began speaking and counting the cold open video, which is like everything else on the program. It's great editing. They do a wonderful television production. It was 6 minutes after the show started before Randy Orton opened his mouth and said a fucking word.
Yep.
And then he talked about Edge and putting him out a month ago, et cetera, et cetera. And then suddenly Kevin Owens interrupts. I thought Owens was mad at Seth Rollins last week. Wasn't he?
He was.
But now he's decided to stick his nose in here. And at least he got to the ring in a timely fashion, because the last thing Steen is going to do is lose the chance to say as many words as possible in his promo. But I wonder how much at the time when he was saying this, I wondered how much bitching and moaning that Owens did, Steen, I have to call him Steen, did when the fucking WWE Creative Brain Trust told him what to say in no uncertain terms. Because I know just to get a fucking finish or a goddamn point out of him, it used to be an hour-long debate. But anyway, Owens wants to know why he turned on Edge, why Orton turned on Edge, because, of course, Kevin Owens is Canadian, and he'll be the babyface here. And at least he had some fucking life to his delivery. He can talk his ass off, especially if he comes up with his own shit or believes in what he's saying. And so he turned this up a little bit. But the one line he said, do you remember when he said he was going back over the history of, him, and he would watch the shows when he was young, and he said, my dream was always to come to the WWE. Do you remember him saying that exact quote?
Yeah.
Well, the exact quote he said to me in 2011 or 2010, one or the other, I think it was 10, when I said, Kevin, if you lost 30 or 40 pounds, your knees and your back would be in better shape because you work the style you work. You need to lose some weight. I said, because you won't just be here. You will be, because of the way you can work and the way you can talk, you will be in the big leagues one of these days. You can be in the WWF. And he said, I don't want to go there. I never wanted to go there. I want to be here and make this and do my own thing and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Then in that case, lose some of your fucking fat off you so that you'll be able to do this in 5 years. But he always had an answer of why whatever you were asking him or telling him to do was inappropriate for his. Anyway, so 10 years ago, his dream was not to come to the WWE, but do anything but 12 years ago, according to his promo in 2020, his dream was always to come to the WWE. Anyway, suddenly Owens challenges Randy Orton for a match tonight. Randy Orton accepts it and leaves flatter than fucking 4 o'clock, flatter than a plate full of piss. A 17-minute segment to challenge for a match tonight and fucking leave. Your thoughts?
I couldn't believe they opened up again with Randy Orton. Like you, I was timing. I said, how long until he gets in the ring and says something? I had it at 7 minutes. You had it at 6 minutes. It was painful. I thought Kevin Owens was really good on the mic. It seemed more natural coming from him than maybe anyone else on the entire show.
Well, Heyman talked later.
So. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. I thought he was definitely one of the best promos on the show. And it made me care a little bit because I did not want to see Randy Orton again. And I know he's incredibly talented. But it was so slow. It was just so slow. It took forever.
And actually, they did. So we've got that match. That's our main event tonight. Orton and Owens. So at least we might see a good match, and right? So we got that going for us. And they made it themselves.
Yes.
In the ring, because it's, just that's what you do. Because when you let all of the performers and the actors take the stage and give them their script, then, there's no need to fucking let facts and details get in the way. Anyway,